Welcome back to my kitchen remodel. We've already got the countertops in and we've shown you how to install an apron front sink. Today we're going to show you how to install click-together vinyl flooring, so stay tuned. I'm going to use this click-together vinyl tile. You could install it over your existing floor, but in this case, I'm going to tear out the original flooring. So the first step of a floor install is prepping your floor. And the first thing to prep your floor you have to do is get everything off of it. So we're gonna get these appliances out of here and then we can get started on everything else. So now that we have everything off of our floors, we can start removing the quarter round. What I found easiest is using a 5-in-1 tool, or this might even be like a 10-in-1 tool, just to kind of get it started. And then they have these little trim pry bars that help you get under there and work your way over. So I'm gonna get started here and just kind of gently work my way over. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself or you can actually snap off your quarter round. And then I can go back and start with this little pry bar. Almost got it. And once you get it removed, you want to make sure that you number it. So this is number 1. And then I'm just gonna go clockwise around the room, number all of those pieces to make sure it's easy to get them back where they need to go. So the next thing I'm gonna do after getting rid of all of that quarter round is I am going to remove the transition strips on all of the doors so I can pull up the original flooring. The easiest way to do that I found is same thing, using this 5-in-1 tool, sure is handy, and just kind of loosen it and work your way underneath it a little bit. And then I've got my heavier duty bar that I can slide in underneath and apply a little bit more pressure, get to that nail. So we got everything off the floor, now it's time to remove it. The easiest way to do this is gonna be just cut it into strips and roll it on out. So we're just gonna jump right into it and do it. So we got our old floor out and now the next step is preparing our subfloor. So sometimes you're gonna find some interesting things once you remove the floor. You might have to replace some subflooring if anything's rotted out. You might need to screw in or re-nail certain areas if the subfloor is coming loose. But mainly what you're gonna wanna look for is any spots where staples are exposed. You can kind of feel them there with a 5-in-1 tool. You can even hit them with the back of your hammer sometimes. You're gonna go around and you're gonna wanna pound in all of those to make sure you have a completely flat surface for installing your tile. So I'm just going to give those a couple pops and I'm just gonna work my way around the rest of the floor and make sure that we're good and level. So we got all of the staples pounded down into the subfloor. So now we're gonna go back and sweep up all of the dust and debris just to make sure that the tiles sit level, it doesn't make any noise. So we're just going to sweep the entire room clean and then we'll go back over it with a heavy duty vacuum cleaner. So we've got all the tools laid out here that you're gonna need for this install. We'll have a link in the description below the video so you can find all of that on Menards.com. Divide the length of the room by the length of the tile. Repeat the process for the width of the room. From there, determine if you will need to shift your tiles over to avoid any small pieces near the edges. We're gonna mark and measure our first row of tiles here. We need to knock about 3.5 inches off of the top. So we'll mark and cut each of those first 5 tiles here. And I'm just gonna use the other tile as a straight edge to draw that line. And then I'm gonna score it. Just applying firm pressure. And then it should break off for me. And I'll just cut it from the back side. Some people also might use a jigsaw or another saw to cut it, but you can do it pretty easily with that utility blade. And then that'll sit in just like that. And we'll move on to the next one. Now we're just gonna show you how to seat these in here properly. So we got our spacer there. I'm just gonna put the tongue into the groove and make sure my front is lined up there. And then I'm going to drop it down, apply some firm pressure, and then I can lightly tap to the right of that seam. You don't wanna overdo it. Just gently seat that in there and then you can move on to the next. So I've gotten to the end of my row here, and the easiest way to do this instead of measuring and marking it every time is to take your tile and flip it the other way. And then take your spacer, because you need to make sure you account for that expansion gap. Press it up against there, and then where the edge of this tile is hitting is where I am going to mark my piece. And I'll transfer that line across and cut it. And then it should just drop in nicely. Here we are. So we got our first row in, and now we need to start our second row. So we need to start with a half tile because we're doing a brick style pattern. So I've got my level/ruler here, and I'm just going to bump that up there, get myself to 12 inches because I got 2 feet tile, and mark that off. And then I'm going to score it. And then just cutting the back. All right, and it's the piece on the right is the one that I want because I need to be able to lock my tongue and groove in. So I'm gonna set this up with the next one, and I'm just gonna steal a spacer here. Make sure I slide that over and drop it down. And then I can grab a full tile, and this next row is gonna be a lot easier. So I'll be able to just grab full tiles. I'm gonna run it along the back groove, drop it down, and gently seat that into place. All right, so we got to the end of our row again here, but we have a little bit of a tricky corner here. So what we're gonna do is we are going to measure the distance between these two tiles, which is 5.5 inches, and then we are gonna extend that measurement right off of this line here, 5.5 inches. So I'm just gonna take my speed square, bump it right up against that, and mark it at 5.5. Draw that line. And then I'm going to mark 5.5 inches on the other side as well. There we are. Set my ruler on it. Ruler/level. And this is what I'm gonna cut out. So always make sure you mark your cutout, and then think about your tile too. Make sure it makes sense that it'll fit in, because if you do this for a while, sometimes you might take your measurement and accidentally cut off what you need to keep. So we're gonna go cut this with a jigsaw, since we have a corner here that we're gonna need to hit, because we won't be able to easily do that with the utility blade. Good there. Just gotta rock it back a little bit in. There, it's seated. Pretty good. All right, so we got to the end of our row, and here we have a smaller piece that we need to seat back into the groove. So we've got our pull bar here. So we're just going to get this piece lined up at the front, get the edge in there. We're gonna drop it in like that. And then we're gonna use this pull bar to seat it properly the rest of the way. So I'm just gonna get it out here and hit it with our hammer. All right, and that's seated in there nice and firm. So we've got our first 2 rows installed, and that's really the most important part. It's the foundation of the floor, because any small mistakes you make early on, they're gonna be magnified later on in your floor, and your gaps are gonna get wider and wider. So we're just making sure that all of this is flush. We don't have any big gaps, which we don't, so we're good to just start rolling and laying a lot of floor now. All right, so we're gonna be approaching the door here, And one of the issues is trying to cut pieces around all of these different angles on the door jamb. So the easiest way to do it is just undercut the door jamb. So we've got an extra scrap piece of flooring here that you can just kind of use as a guide. Now this is called an undercut saw. And this here, you'll just use that as your guide. And just work your way back and forth. So that's one way to do it. The other way is using an oscillating tool, like this boost oscillating tool we got here. And we'll just still use that bottom piece. All right, so we've got the entire floor installed. It's looking great, in my opinion at least. So the next step is to put our quarter round back on. Just make sure you give it a good cleaning, because you'd be surprised what years of dust and spilt drinks and everything on the back side and underside of that quarter round will look like. You'll be able to get it installed. It was easy to put them back where they were because we had them numbered. Another little tip, we have our compressor on a cardboard box because we have rubber feet on that compressor, and when it's vibrating, you can sometimes leave some nice black rubber marks on your brand new floor. So just another tip there when you plug in your compressor. But I'm gonna go ahead and start reinstalling this quarter round. And just remember, you're not nailing this to the floor, you're nailing it into the wall. You don't want to nail this into the floor. All right, so we're completely done with this flooring install. I'm really happy with the way it looks and how it turned out. Something you can do at home in about a day. Just go to the description below and find the links to all the tools and materials we use. It's gonna make it so much easier. Any other videos for this kitchen remodel can be found on our YouTube playlist, so check those out too. Thanks for watching.